You ever feel like you're in this relationship and you're questioning if you should break up with this woman or if you should stay with her? And like every day you're like, yeah, I think I want to break up with her. But then every day you're like, no, I don't think I will. And it becomes this game of where you're not really enjoying yourself with them. And you're always looking for that day where things are peaceful, but you really feel like you're walking on eggshells. And it feels like everything you do, you just can't win. And you can't seem to get the nice side of her anymore. And you're like, I don't know where I'm at with this. Well, brother, this is not love. This is a trap, and you're caught up in a trap that's draining you. And in this video, I'm going to show you what you can do about this, either how you can turn it around or if you should move on even faster. My name is Baxter, and I help guys in betrayal situations. I've coached thousands of men, tens of thousands of men who come through my doors in one form or another. I've had over 3,000 guys come through the Betrayed to Badass program. And that's what we do. We'll get you to that place where you make the right decision for you and your children. So, the first step is recognizing if you're in one. And so a draining relationship just pulls everything away from you because on some level you've made this person your life. You've made this person you have to keep pouring into all the time, and they either need emotional or physical or financial help from you all the fucking time. And what ends up happening is you play this game of guilt within yourself. Like, if I leave this person, they won't be able to survive without me. If I leave this person, they're gonna be devastated. If I leave this person, insert the blank where the other person doesn't have any agency and they're just a victim of circumstance, which is not true. This woman that you're with is a grown-ass woman who is responsible for her life in every level. And so the first thing you would want to look at is like, do I feel like I'm walking on eggshells? Do I have to really watch my language around this person? I'm not sure what's going to set her off. I don't know which side I'm going to get with her today. And so you'll test the waters to kind of see what you're going to get. You come home, you're like, is she in a good mood? Is she in a bad mood? I don't know. And she'll say things like, oh, you just ruined the entire day. Like, this is stuff to make you feel guilty, make you feel like you're intrinsically broken for some reason, even though you're just a good-natured dude trying to do happy shit, trying to usually make her happy. And she'll say this kind of thing. And you feel like you're constantly giving her way more than you're getting in return. And in a relationship where you're draining of you, you find that you're fighting for just table scraps of affection, of appreciation. Maybe you're not appreciated at all. Maybe she doesn't ever give you appreciation. Maybe she never gives you anything. And it's always this game of how much do I have to pour into her just to get some table scrap of affection, namely through sex. And then you have sex with her, and it's like this consolation sex. It's like, whatever happened to us really having a good time? And you're the one doing all the initiating. It's like she never comes to you for it. And even when you try, it feels like you have to align the fucking planets just to get her in the mood. And so what this does to you is it makes you completely emotionally and mentally exhausted, because when you're around her, you don't know what you're going to get, and you're constantly strategizing about how you can change things around. And then when you're not with her, you're rehearsing these conversations and fights in your head all the time, and it just completely consumes you as a person. And this often happens because she's always playing the victim. If she plays the victim, then it means you're the savior. That means that you're the one who has to fix all of her fucking problems. And when you fall into this trap of her being a victim all the time, this means she's never going to take accountability, because a victim never takes accountability because it's never their fault. It's always something else that happened. It's always your fault. It's always the world. It's always her boss. It's always her kids. It's always your kids that are harassing and cramping her style. And so this whole game is you just lose your sense of yourself, and you don't know where you're going to go. And the problem is most guys don't want to leave this relationship because they feel so responsible for this woman, because she's played this victim game for so long, that and he's bought into it for so long, that he feels like it is his duty in life to make her happy. It's his duty in life to be a good husband. It's his duty in life to make the marriage work. And I've seen this before. In fact, even my stepbrother's going through this right now. He's just caught up in this game where he feels like he is the guy that's fallen apart, and he needs to do everything for his family and his wife, and she just takes complete advantage of it. And I see it from afar, and there's nothing I can say or do, because when you're in that space and you believe it so strongly, you'll just villainize everybody in your life who tries to help you. You'll be like, you just don't understand our relationship. It's different. You know, I'm supposed to do this. The Bible says I'm supposed to do whatever it happens to be. It's the thing that justifies the narrative. And the narrative is that you just don't want to look at yourself. You just don't want to look at the real problem that's happening. You don't want to step into power. You don't want to tell the other person they're wrong. You're bad. You get guilt and ashamed and manipulated very easily. And so because of this, you keep falling under this trap, because there's something within you that doesn't stand up for yourself and say, you know what, maybe I'm right. Maybe I know what's best for me. Maybe I know what's best for my kids. Maybe I know what's best for this family more than you do. And so when your life gets completely wrapped up in what this other person wants, you're trying to serve them, and hoping, and some time in the future they'll get the picture and they'll return to you. You just realize it's never going to happen. And so the problem is you sit here and you wait. You wait for her to change, you wait for her to wake up, you wait for her to be different, and you play this waiting game, which is a passive game. It's this game where you have no agency about what's going to happen. And see, you can't lead a relationship if you're waiting all the time. See, to lead means to go first. You can't wait for her to be better. You have to lead her to the better place. And if she can't go to the better place, then she drops off. And it becomes intolerant for her to be in your presence because you are holding the standard. You are holding the line for what is and is not acceptable in your life, in your relationship. And if you fall under any manipulation, just realize she's going to see you as weak. And when she sees you as weak, she's going to feel unsafe. And when she feels unsafe, her attraction is going to go down. And when her attraction goes down, she's not going to have sex with you. And she's going to say a bunch of weird stuff like, I'm not in love with you, I feel like we're roommates, and all this other stuff. And the spice of life for her starts to fall apart. And she'll start getting hardened and angry and bitter, start holding you in contempt because you're not able to hold the frame of the relationship. And so I see this all the time where guys train their wives to be hardened and angry. And he's just trying to be a nice dude, trying to be helpful, trying to help her out, trying to be a good guy for her. But in the background of this, he's really just training her to be hard on him because he can't steel himself to be the leader in the relationship. And so I'll ask a guy like, how long have you been waiting? How long are you prepared to wait? Can you be okay if she never actually changes? Most guys never think about that. They're like, well, I don't know. Yeah, exactly, dude. Expect that it's not going to be. Expect that you're enabling this behavior. Expect that you are encouraging this behavior. Until you do something, it's just going to keep going, and it's going to fucking destroy you. You will lose all sense of yourself. Your whole life is going to be completely and utterly this depressive state where you have no agency at all. So the solution is you pull your attention off of her and back onto yourself. Put it back onto yourself and start creating a life that you want. Not a life that makes her happy, not a life that she thinks is good for her, but the life that you want. Remember, if you're going to be the leader in your relationship, you have to lead. You have to go where you want to go, and you're not going to ask permission for it. Again, where your attractive value resides is you being unapologetically yourself. But we temper it with heart and humility in case we go too far off the deep end. Like, it's all about me. We don't want to go to the narcissism land. But at the same time, we have to be self-interested. If you're not self-interested, you can't hold boundaries. And if you can't hold boundaries, you lose all your agency. And if you lose all your agency, your wife cannot feel safe with you. She cannot feel that you will push back on her. She cannot feel that if something happens in life, you're a tough dude that can handle shit. See, we live in a peaceful society. So the only way that she can see that if you're tough or powerful is for her to test you, to start throwing manipulation and guilt and shame at you. And when you fall under it, she starts to spin out. She starts to get angry. She starts to harden herself. She starts to hold you in contempt. And you're like, well, why does she do this? Most of the time it's subconscious. She doesn't really realize why she's doing it. She just knows that she's angry and annoyed about something, and so she starts throwing jabs at you. And the jabs are usually coming through some sort of a manipulative behavior, and you noticing it and stopping it is all you have to do. And it's not that hard. All you have to do is handle it a few times in the beginning, and then it's fine for forever. Like, my wife doesn't manipulate me at all because we handled that shit early on, and she feels safe, and she's flowers and blossoms, and she's great and super happy. But you have to be able to do that in your relationship. And if this has been going on for years, you're going to have a harder time of it. So that means you're going to really have to set your boundaries, stick to it. And when you set a boundary, you cannot let up on it. You have to have 100% intolerance for manipulative and controlling behavior in your relationship. You cannot allow her to control you on any level. This doesn't mean you're disagreeable. You can agree with her, but it's on your terms, not because she's manipulating you. And when she manipulates you about something, even if you agree with it, you should just hammer the manipulation down regardless. Because if she can control you on any level, there's going to be some level that she's not going to feel safe with you. See, the world is a scary place. And so to handle a scary world, she needs a monster, a guy that's going to wrestle that world and fuck it up. But the problem is the monster could turn on her. So she needs to feel safe with the monster. And so the way that she feels safe with the monster is she tests the monster. Is he going to attack me? Is he going to stay calm? Is he going to stay cool and collected? Or is he going to collapse? If he collapses under me, then I'm stronger than a monster. He's really not that safe. He's going to get his ass kicked in the world. In fact, I know he is, because if he can fall under me, he can do it to somebody else, or some other woman could take control of him and I'd lose him. And so she needs to play this game of seeing how tough you are, and you have to be able to demonstrate that you are tougher and more powerful than she is in a very benevolent way. So if you keep capitulating and you don't hold these boundaries and you don't stick to them 100%, then it's like when you have a child who is having a temper tantrum. It's like if you allow the child to escalate the temper tantrum all the way to physically hurting themselves, like hitting their head against the floor, and then you finally capitulate, you've just created a monster. Now the child knows that they have to go all the way to that extreme to get what they want. So next time they'll go to that extreme faster. And if you've trained your wife to do this, then she's going to go to the extreme all the time, which means that she's going to be yelling and maybe even punching you in the face and throwing stuff. And I see this happen all the time. You'd be shocked at the kind of behavior that happens behind closed doors with men and their wives. Women that are highly abusive. And he's like, well, she's a woman, And then one day he tries to defend himself, and then she calls the police because she has learned that she can just escalate, and then he'll capitulate. Then it gets to this point where she has so much contempt for him, she looks at this and like, yeah, he deserves to be locked up. He's an abusive monster. She runs this narrative in her head, and she believes this delusional narrative. And then he ends up going to prison, and he loses his kids, and there's no evidence of this ever happening again. He comes into my program, and he's completely distraught. He's like, I would have never do this in my life. I don't understand where this is coming from. It's like, yeah, because she's taken all this pent-up resentment and pain of being in an unhealthy position, and maybe she's just unhealthy mentally already. Maybe she has a personality disorder or something. This often happens in there. And then she gets into this place with him, and it's not salvageable, nor should it be. Like, he shouldn't try to salvage a relationship where she calls the cops on him. That's insane. This is what happens if you don't have boundaries in a relationship. If you don't hold boundaries, it always spins out. It's not an if, it's a when. And usually it's a long, slow, painful death that ends in some catastrophic event with a lot of drama and chaos. And usually there's kids involved by that point. So don't put up with that shit, brother. You deserve better. If you're in a draining relationship and you feel like you're having to put all this time and energy and effort in, you deserve way better. But the thing is that I can't make you deserve better. You have to decide for that for yourself. See, power is not something that's bestowed upon you. It's not something that somebody's going to gift you. It's something that you have to seize for yourself. And then you have to maintain it, right? If a country wants to have power over a people, it has to seize the country, the land, and then hold the power. Nobody gave that country the power. They went and they took it. And that's what power is. You have to take power for yourself. And you have to take your own power of agency over yourself. And you have to start taking responsibility. You can't be a victim of this and realize that you created this situation, which means that you have to be the solution. And until you do that, this is never going to get better. Women are never going to want to really stay with you. They're never going to be all over you, wanting sex from you all the time, and loving you and appreciating you and being completely devoted to you and be desiring you all the time. It's just never going to happen. If you allow them to manipulate you on any level, it's never going to happen. And this is what we teach men how to do in the Soul Seducer program, how to hold boundaries, keep them locked tight in a way that's benevolent and awesome without turning the relationship into a fucking knockdown 3-ring shit show. Because that's usually what ends up happening. They don't know how to do it. They end up getting unhinged and yell at her, and it turns into this whole situation. Then she says he's emotionally abusive, and it just becomes a whole thing. But the thing is, you can turn this around really quickly. In fact, you turn it around in a couple of weeks, and then within 2 months, you'll be firing on all cylinders and absolutely fucking crushing it in the world. And we know that we can do this with you because we've done it for thousands of men who've come before you. And if you want to know more about the Soul Seducer program, the link is in the description below this video. Anyways, brother, if you like this video, hit the like button so other men will see it in their feed. We have to get this message to as many men as possible. And if you want to see this again, you want to get notified, hit the subscribe button and the bell that goes with it. And I love you, and I'll see you in the next one.